Good morning. There's lots of you here, and I'm going to do a first here. I'm a selfie version. I'm going to do a selfie, if you don't mind. Okay, so just bear with me, all right? Okay, that's good. My daughter's going to be well impressed, I can tell you. That's lock up your homes, not your AEDs. This is a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I've been travelling the country and I've been talking to a lot of people in communities and looking at seeing stuff, and I know a few statistics and people tell me stuff. So this is just some ideas and something food for thought, let's call it. That's me there, John Fitzgerald, Dunlavin Community First Responders. We were 11 years old in April, and I feel very old looking now down at all you faces now, I really do. So anyway, food for thought. We all know this, 5,000 arrests each year, about 2,000 get an EMS response. That's another day's work. We have to get people to dial in 999. 66% of arrests happen at home. That's very important for us as responders. Bystander CPR was started in 69% of those. That's really good, but we want to get away from attempted and get good quality in there. Defibrillation was attempted in 16%. I don't know, maybe we could do better. And the survival rate is not great, even though it's 6.1% or 6.4%. But anyway, we all know those figures. Last year, Professor Douglas Chamberlain told us that international evidence says that it takes about 2 minutes to make the call from somebody collapses. So that's 2 minutes gone. And then it takes about another 2 minutes to get an emergency services activated, whether that's us or the ambulance service or both. So that takes another 2 minutes. That's 4 minutes gone. And the patient has been unconscious for 4 minutes. We've been working on the premise that for each minute that passes after an arrest, you lose 10%. But Professor Chamberlain stated that he didn't believe this. He actually thought it was more like 15%. So the time is ticking. Time is your enemy. You can't be wasting time. That's what I'm trying to say to you. You can't waste time. The PHECC report, September 2014, on the defibs in the community, public access ones, estimated that since 1998, 15,151 AEDs were sold in Ireland. There should be trip hazards. They should be everywhere. Where are they? Anyway. 13,000 of those, they reckon, were still out and about and ready for use, not gone beyond their best before date. And then they found a survey that was done around sports clubs, and it said only about 75% of those are usable because the pads or batteries are not in date. I don't know, I'm not too sure about that one, but anyway. So that leaves about 8,000 to 9,000 AEDs out there in the community, out there. So my question is, where are they? Where are they? We should be tripping over these things, and they're not there. So this is what I'm talking about. Technology is great. So there's some of them in referees' rooms, there's some of them in storerooms, there's some of them in presses, and there's even 1 or 2 under beds. The wrong beds. And then there's some on walls, out and about in the communities. But there's locks on them. So we can't get them quickly, and we're worried. I'm suggesting that we take those pads and we put them on walls outside of buildings in unlocked cabinets. And because time is your enemy. And you're going to say to me, but Fitzy, they'll be vandalised, and I'm going to say to you, maybe. And then you're going to say, Fitzy, they'll be stolen, and I'm going to say, yeah, maybe. But I'm going to say to you also, some of them will be taken down by people who know nothing about CPR or AEDs and are going to use them and are going to save a life. We have a plan. In Wicklow, we have somewhere, I've actually lost count at this stage, we're somewhere in the region of 50 AEDs out there as pads out in the communities. We've been doing this for a while, so that's about the number. I've lost track because they're going up all the time. Blessing, they're putting up another 2 in the next few weeks. Arklow are putting up another 2 or 3. Greystones, Bray, they're going up everywhere on a regular basis, and we're putting them up. But we don't just put them up, we have a plan. About 6 to 8 weeks before we place an AED, we do a community alert, and we do mail drops, we do the church services, we do all this information. We say, look, there's an AED coming, there's CPR going to happen, we do citizen CPR, we do the Heart Saver course from the Heart Foundation, it's a very good course, and we do Have a Go CPR. We do all of these things 6 to 8 weeks before we place an AED. Then we have a big launch night, and we invite everybody. All the businesses in the town, all the community groups, the sports groups, everybody gets invited. The county councillors, everybody gets invited. So it's a big, big launch, so everybody knows about it. And then the following 6 or 8 weeks, we continue with the public information. Whether it's Have a Go CPR, or just turning up outside the shop or something, or wherever it is, we keep it going, keep the information out there, trying to reinforce that we place an AED, it's for you, it's for the community, it's going to save lives. And then put the AED in a well-lit area, at least. And if there's CCTV, which is outside lots of shops now, use that. And we have insurance, we can organise insurance for it if you wish, but also it's protected under the Criminal Damage Act 1991. It's protected there. I have a few case studies. I'm going to speak quickly because it's a big day ahead of you. This is Blessington. This guy came out of the pub and he was very angry one night, and he said he'd take it out in an AED box. Bad idea. We have a zero tolerance for messing with our AEDs. We don't care what problems you have. It's a zero tolerance. A lot of people put a lot of time and effort into putting these things there, so we have a zero tolerance, and we really go to town when something like this happens. So this happened anyhow. Within 2 hours, the Gardaí had the guy, and within 5 days, we had it back up running again. But consequently, we had 20,000 likes or views on Facebook. It was liked by 77 people. It was shared by 82. We had 60 comments, but also it was all over East Coast Radio, and it was in the local paper, the Wicklow People. So it's promotion, basically. There was no actual damage done to the AED. It was done to the cabinet. This is Arklow. John Summers, you see him knocking around. He was actually doing a bit of CPR here this morning. They had just placed their AED, and what happened was there was a taxi manager. He removed it because he wasn't happy with some technical issues with the ESP supply. So he hadn't got it. It wasn't in the case. But this taxi man drove by, saw it wide open, and said, "Whoa, someone's after robbing the AED." Alerted the guards. The guards ran straight away. Contacted John about 2 o'clock in the morning. Said, "Someone's after stealing your AED," and he said, "Well, it wasn't exactly in there." But anyway, it got blown out of proportion. I heard about it, which wasn't a good idea, because I get a bit touchy about this sort of thing. So anyhow, we drafted a press release, and it was taken up by East Coast Radio. It was on all the news bulletins. We had a 15-minute slot on East Coast Radio during the week. It was taken up with the on Twitter. It also got mentions in all the local newspapers, all the free papers as well. But within 3 hours of actually putting it up, I think you see the numbers on the bottom, it got 13,498 views. But that's promotion. There's no damage done to the AED. This is very recent. You saw John, he's on the left, on the right there, he was doing a bit of CPR here this morning as well, very stern looking John. This was an attack on the AED. This was in a storeroom in the GAA in Kilmechanic, and it was set on fire, and one of the victims was the AED and its box. Again, we publicised it. We got somewhere in the region of 20,000 Facebook likes, and all the rest of it. We had another 15-minute slot on East Coast Radio. We got 2 or 3 new responders out of it. Two weeks later, Kilmechanic, they're going to go live, I think, sometime in the summer. But 2 weeks later, they had a fundraiser on a Monday night in a small little pub down in Wicklow, and they raised $4,000. The publicity we got out of it was phenomenal. And it wasn't our AED, it was GAA's. This is the exception to the rule. The zero tolerance still applies, regardless. This here, sorry, I beg your pardon, I got on a bit excited there. You actually got 2 free AEDs out of it, and they got a box as well. So, this is what happens. This here is the exception to the rule. This is Anne here in the centre, and that's her son-in-law there on the right-hand side, and that's a physio, GA physio on the other side. Annie collapsed in her kitchen in front of her daughter. Her daughter, Aisling, works in a hospital, so she knew straight away there was a problem. She called new husband, who had just recently done a cardiac first responder course. He put the chain of survival into action, called for help. Happens to be paramedic next door, just back from Syria, an army paramedic. She came in, initiated the chain of survival. The whole bit was happening, and they said, we need an AED. Aisling, the daughter, jumped in her car, drove down to the local GAA. The chap there on the left was a physio. He was doing some work on one of the players. She arrived into the car park. She said, I need the AED. And the guy said, well, you know, it's kind of locked away. And she kind of said, like, I won't use any of the language, I kind of need it now. And so they went into the GAA premises. They broke down the storeroom door, grabbed the AED, ran back up, and the physio jumped in the car with her, went back up to the house, put the AED on, and there's Annie. So the moral to the story is, if you're going to lock up your AEDs, make sure you have a bunch of burly lads that can break down doors and get into locks quickly, because you're going to need them in a hurry. Time is your enemy. Don't waste it. We have very, very little of it. We need to be getting there quicker, and you need to be sorting out how we get there quicker. So I just need you to think a little bit more, maybe, and take those locks off the AEDs. It's just a little bit of food for thought. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of the conference.